Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Metroid 2 remake, 100%. So, runner here, DruidVorse. I'm John Unfull, commentating with me, EOD Tex. And I think let's just get this going. Unless you have anything in particular to say, Tex, before we start?
Hello, sorry, I lost my keyboard and I have pushed it up.
Okay. Yeah, you ready to go?
I'm ready, let's set it off.
Alright, I think we should be getting this going any minute now. I have been really looking forward to this ever since the games list was announced. This is an incredibly good run anyway, and I don't think it's possible to overstate how good Druid is at this game.
Oh, absolutely, and he's rerouted this category quite a bit since I last ran it, so...
Yeah, he's just been finding small optimizations, major optimizations, just anything you can imagine. He's probably found it. Small stuff that saves frames, reroutes that have saved multiple minutes. So, first thing to note, we start from a brand new game file because we can entirely skip the intro by just holding start. Alright, so there's a lot going on right at the start of this. So, first thing you're going to notice is that we use Morph Ball to move. It's faster than running, just like original Metroid 2. And there's also... I completely blanked out on what I was going to say. Oh, instant morph button. So you can press a single button to morph instantly, which means we don't have to worry about optimizing when we morph as much as Metroid 2 runners do. Which is really, really nice in a lot of situations, and it opens up a lot of really cool tricks that we'll be seeing later on. So for now, the game gets off to the same exact start Metroid 2 gets off to. Just move your way through the tunnels. You have the nice tunnel theme going in the background. This one's a little more subdued, but it's still very good. And then we're going to go fight our first Alpha Metroid here. Get the little cutscene, and like Samus Returns, you can only shoot them in the soft underside, so that's why you'll be seeing him do that.
Also, you want to shoot him out towards the door to get a quicker exit, which he did there.
Yep, see him take a little damage boost there. So, one of the weirder things about this game is the wall jumping. Actually, the hitbox is very bizarre. It's like, if the top half of Samus lines up with the wall, then you can wall jump, which is a little odd, but...
Yeah, it gets confusing from time to time. I've definitely missed wall jumps because I just wasn't thinking about that at the time.
It's very counterintuitive, but it's just one of the weird idiosyncrasies with this game. And you'll see Druid making very liberal use of missiles here because missiles do a lot of damage. They kill all the enemies in one hit. And related, the drops in this game. Best drop system ever.
It's very easy to predict drops.
Yep.
It only depends on what you kill the enemy with, and then it's just a random pick from what you need to what it can drop.
Yep. So the practical upshot of that is if you're full on health, you're not going to get health. If you're full on missiles, you're not going to get missiles. So we abuse that in a lot of spots to guarantee missile drops or super drops. So that's definitely something that's going to come into play a lot in later areas. Actually, it comes into play right in the start. I missed the glide there. So one of the tricks that you'll see him doing a lot is Morph Gliding. Basically, if you unmorph and respin within, I think it's a 4-frame window, you kind of like glide out a little further like you just did there.
Another great thing about this game is even the missiles expansions and super missiles, they refill your ammo of that type instead of just the energy tanks.
Yep, so what you saw him do there, he shot a little lamp off screen. You'll see it a bit more clearly in another room in this area. But basically, if you shoot the lamp and stuff, it happens. So now he's going to be going through collecting a few items. From original Metroid 2, that was Ice Beam, but Charge Beam is there in this remake. And we'll get into that why a little more later on once he does get Ice Beam. So now he's going down over to get Spider Ball. Spider Ball is a very, very useful item in this speed run.
Not quite as useful as the original, but it's
not. It's not worth it enough to get in any percent. Oh, nice bomb spread, bomb jump.
Oh yes, bomb spreads are very useful in this game. You can have many different.
Yeah, so this game kind of combines tech from like the GBA Metroid games and Super Metroid a lot of the time. So you have bomb spreads. Yeah, you also have things like respin from the GBA games. And another one of the cool things that you can do with this game is, since it's a PC game, you can customize the controls a little bit. So you can have SM style item select and aiming, or GBA style.
And the bomb jumping in this game is very forgiving. You have a nice wide range of where you can be when the bomb explodes.
Oh yeah,
get the jump.
Absolutely.
It's even possible to do a triple bomb jump, but you won't see anyone really.
Yeah, I don't think anyone goes for that. So now we're going to the first, what are called in this game, breeding grounds. So we actually have official names for things. That's kind of a deceptively tricky wall jump there. But we have names because of the journal that was integrated into the game. It gives names for a lot of areas, a bit of lore, backstory, and you will absolutely never see it in a speedrun because why would you? Okay, so this Alpha Metroid is special. He's the first one that will attempt to dodge your shots, but by manipulating him, you can make him dodge right into your missiles anyway.
And that was a beautiful push towards the exit.
Yep. And it's very similar to to Metroid 2, in that you want to kind of get the Metroids stuck up against a wall or a ceiling or something to make it easier to shoot them.
Luckily, though, the way they bounce is not RNG. It depends on where you hit them with your missile.
Yep. There's actually not a huge amount of RNG in this run. There's definitely some, and it's definitely annoying when it does happen, but all things considered, it's really not that bad. So that was the first set of Metroids in Area 1. Now we're moving on to Area 2. And here's the first save he's going to take. Saving saves and refills your health and ammo completely, so we make use of that a few times through the run. Get ammo in a few strategic locations. Oh no, it's a mini-boss fight.
So this boss has his health actually based on your maximum missile count, and there's a lot more missiles that he skipped in this area for the revisit, and that makes it so that he can kill him in 4 phases rather than more.
Yep. So you'll notice his missile count right now is very, very low. He needs a couple of missiles here to get through a hidden shortcut. And he's looking for missile drops because in an ideal world, there's another Metroid coming up that you would want to kill. But it looks like he's not going to have the ammo to do it the first time around, so he's going to do it on the way out of this area instead of the way in.
So yeah, you get a nice little jump scare Metroid here. I definitely watched the demos of that and still got jump scared by him the first time I played.
And this is the everyone's favorite area. Just so you want to bit of a bomb jump up here to pick up this missile tank. It would be convenient to get in cleanup, but there's just nothing else out here that you get in cleanup. Going for Morph Glides all the way over to the wall. Very, very nice. And this wall is kind of infamous. It's really annoying to climb up because of the hitbox, but he gets through it with no trouble at all.
And I don't know if we've mentioned this yet, but Druid's playing on a keyboard, so this is absolutely insane to me.
Yeah. So now we're fighting everyone's favorite mini-boss, Arachnus. Arachnus is a huge source of RNG in the run. Nice, very nice. And he works differently than he does in other games. Basically, he doesn't actually have health so much. That would have been really good to see. Basically, you deal damage to him, and he kind of gets angry when he starts rolling around, and then you have to bomb him up into the electric spike thingies. I don't really know if they have an actual name, but
alternatively, you can kill him with a single power bomb, but it's so much more worth it to get Spring Ball early on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, remember that Spring Ball and Spider Ball are both incredibly useful items. We'll talk about that a little later. But one of the big things about Spring Ball is you don't have to unmorph, so... Yes. It is Arachnus. Did I say something else? Nice. Something we haven't actually mentioned is you can blow up bombs early in this game by shooting them. So you'll see. That's why you'll see him shooting missiles or beams at his bombs.
On the missiles and super missiles splash damage helps with that a lot too. So
yeah, absolutely. I think that's something we forgot to mention too. It's just so much going on in this game. It can be hard to keep up. He's got high jump boots. High jump boots also a really useful upgrade because they help you jump higher. Yeah, obviously. Let's see. I think he goes for left side. He misses it. That's a shame. Left side climb is very hard.
It very much is.
And I'm just doing a bit more item collection here. The game, there's a lot going on, but the game also gets off to a sort of slow start. Very nice strat to avoid getting hit there. I say sort of slow start just because we're missing a couple of things that make this run what it is, really. We don't get them until a little later. Yeah. Nice strats to avoid the damage. This area isn't the hardest area. Oh, he's wall jump climbing. Very nice.
Slightly faster to do it this way, but missing the jump in is pretty easy.
And you notice we're going to kill this Metroid on the way out because we want to line him up with that wall right there. And since this is 100%, we have so many missiles. Just missed that wall jump. That's a tight one. This Metroid's the worst one in the game. He missed the early shot. That's a bummer. This guy likes to misbehave, but he did a great job there. So that's good. Now we're going... If you're familiar with the Metroid 2 map, you might recognize this as the area that has Various Suit in it. And, nice wall jump zip. It's a pretty recent bit of tech right there. I kind of forget exactly how it works. You turn around on the right frame when you're wall jumping underwater and the game thinks you're on the opposite side of the room. Something like that.
You basically turn around right after you wall jump when you have slow mechanics. So in water or grabbed by a Metroid works too. And you morph right after you turn around and it thinks you're on the opposite wall. So, or you can do it to the same wall if you're low enough. You can zip that way.
Yep, you don't see it too much in 100%, but you see it a lot in any percent. Which my colleague here will be hopefully showing off tomorrow. Nice recovery.
That Metroid can get out of position pretty easily.
Yep.
But he dealt with it well.
Just missed that glide. That's unfortunate. There's an awful lot of spots where you can save tiny bits of time with gliding. And this Metroid, you have a lot of missiles. He generally behaves pretty well. Not much to worry about here. Again, missile tanks refill your missiles to full, so ammo shortage is so rarely a problem in this category.
It's also possible to double hit the dodging Metroids, but it's very hard to control, so it's not really worth it to go for in a run.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that because of the way this game was made, a lot of stuff behaves inconsistently. We'll be seeing that a fair bit later, but oof, nice Metroid fight. And this is our first Gamma Metroid. Same sort of deal generally. There's only a couple of Gamma Metroids that don't dodge, so you'll try to bait their dodges to the right spot. I just missed up the fast strat right at the end. That's a bitch. Okay, so we're done with most of the Metroids in this area. We still have the one on the way out that we were unable to get. But now we're moving on out towards Area 3. And Area 3 is where it really picks up. So we're just going to be sticking with our solid movement techniques through the main tunnel here.
This is the early missile on that, which actually makes this fight faster on the way out than on the way in.
Yep. Alright. So Area 3, man. Area 3 is where this one really picks up. Something you might have realized is that we don't have Varia right now, even though we went right past where it is. There's a very good reason for that. It's just so much faster to get it later. But it does make areas 3 and 4 a little bit scary at times because everything assumes you have Varia, so you take an awful lot of damage. And if things get out of control, it can be very easy for you to just take multiple E-tanks worth of damage in a very short period of time.
And in case you haven't noticed yet, a lot of the items have the same positioning as they did in the original. With some slight variations like space jump here, you don't have to go up. And hey, here's a Chorizo fight.
Yep. So one of the things this game added were more mini-bosses, usually throwbacks to other Metroid games. So here's the Chorizo. And we're just gonna pummel him with missiles until he dies.
He's so easy. Oh wait,
What's
going on here?
Oh man! So Druid's going to be shooting a specific number of missiles. He's going to try to avoid triggering the swooping phase, and it looks like he got it. Excellent.
Nice.
That's a fairly challenging quick kill. And you'll see him here. Okay, so this is the bit of tech with space jumping. Basically, shooting doesn't reset your momentum, but it resets the space jump timer. So you'll see him shoot between space jumps to make it so that he can jump again almost immediately.
Yeah, respin automatically triggers your space jump, unlike other games where you have to respin and then jump to do a space jump. Whereas if you're just doing space jump normally, you have the normal cooldown, so it's a lot faster to do it that way.
So So now we've got Speed Booster. Okay, Speed Booster is, more than anything else, the item that makes this run. It's so good, it is so important, you can do so many awesome things with it. We're seeing... Oh no. It's a shame. Okay, so you see we have the Speed Ball, kind of similar to what it is in Super Metroid. It's just so much more robust. You can store a Shine Spark with it, you can jump, you can chain it into all sorts of things. It's just so much flexibility with the item in Speed Booster. And he's killing this guy right now. Quick grab on that E-Tank, very nice. So now, Speed Booster, fun fact about it, this is the only Metroid where it is required in low percent. I know that there's low percent speed in SM, but you can technically get low percent in SM without picking up Speed Booster, but it is a necessary item to progress.
Yeah, there's 5 items absolutely required, which are bombs, ice beam, super missiles,
Speed Booster,
and either screw attack or power bombs.
In practice, everyone who's done low percent has gotten screw attack because it's so much harder to do the queen fight without power bombs. Okay. Yes, technically it's required in Fusion, but Fusion doesn't count. So now we're going through the little robot minigame here. This is kind of a annoying part to optimize, I think. But the important thing is that you can buffer jumps. So if you hold the jump button while you're in the middle of your last jump, you can buffer a high jump. Okay, doesn't have to stop on the bottom. Very nice. Yeah, he's grabbing another Shine Spark. Ooh, very good. So now, oh, wow. What a beast.
Well done.
Got clipped there. It's not a big deal. Alright, so now another space boost, another speed ball. Oof, nice recovery. Oof, very high spark. I thought he was going to clip the ceiling.
High spark actually lets you just damage boost right onto the platform there, but he chose not to there.
And reason some super missiles are huge.
Yep, they do 5 times damage, so he just did 5 missiles in a super there. The reason he didn't use both supers is because 1, it increases its iframes, and 2, we want a super missile coming up shortly here.
Mm-hmm. So, just so much going on so quickly in this game. Let's see if he gets the strat. I didn't quite get it. He tried to store a spark there so he could spark right into that enemy instead of shooting him with the beam like that. Beam is slow, sparking fast. But have no fear. There's oh man.
Those enemies can be a pain when you get them out of sync.
Really, really can be. Like, this area is incredibly difficult. Like, you take so much damage. The enemies are very unpredictable and have a lot of health, so it's not easy to get them out of your way. So the fact that he got out of here with almost 2 full E-tanks is really nice. Oh, I did not get that speed ball. That's very hard. So now what he's going to do is he's going to actually store the spark, trigger the Metroid to get out of the way, and then get an item with the fight active.
So those pauses he's doing, he's switching between toggle and hold for his missile select, which I think he's the only one who does, but it's to make it easier for certain situations.
That speedball is a little tight. It's not uncommon for people to miss it. Oh, he's going for the backup. No, that's okay. That's not what I thought he would do. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, that's okay. It's not the end of the world missing that. Is there a CWJ mechanic? Not really. Not that I know of, anyway.
Momentum works more like the GBA games in this, at least with running and jumping.
I mean, you never run anyway because running is really, really slow. You can kind of see it like before you pick up a speed boost, but fortunately, fun fact, if you're doing a speed boost, you get speed boosts so fast it can't. I missed that. No. It catches up to rolling after only 4 frames of being active. So most of the time, if you can get a speed boost, it's going to be faster. And now he's just going to be using the shot cancels to get way up, way fast. And let's hope he gets this. Yeah, it looks good. Easy every single time. And oh, he's not taking the refill. That's a bold strategy, because you'll remember back to the drops. They're very important here because he needs super missiles to kill these Metroids quickly, but he's short on missiles, so he's not guaranteed to get super drops. See that he's going to be trying to farm for a couple here. We got it. So now we're just going forward. And you'll see that what he's doing is he's shooting the beam between his super shots. That's to trigger the dodge. Even though the Metroids aren't damaged by the beam, they're still scared of it for some reason.
And also the dodge resets their iframes, so even with it, he can hit them faster.
Yep. Spider ball over some crumble blocks there. Classic. Metroid fights are going so well. Like I don't think I can stress how not trivial these Metroid fights are, despite how Druid is making them look. And he's doing this reverse. What a madman! What an absolute madman!
Oh, even going for the ball spark. Wow. But for me, I can't. I have to spark before I land there.
Yeah,
because that's very tight timing.
Yeah, like the shine spark timer in this game is really long, but there are some very, very tight shine sparks you can do, even despite that. And he's going to be killing that Gamma on the way out. He's got a pretty cool strat for that. And he's... Okay, no, he is doing this. So this is one of the many instances where we're going to want to keep a Shine Spark while killing a Metroid. And super missiles are key for that. Oops. It's not a Metroid speed run without dropped space jumps. So now he's going to be bringing this Metroid all the way out, baiting his attack and killing him just while keeping the Shine Spark timer. Now we're through actually one of the hardest parts of the game. Well, hardest in some senses. It's certainly one of the easiest places to lose time because there's just so many different speed booster tricks, and if that breeding grounds goes badly, it can just I'm totally blanking on the word I'm going for here.
It just gets worse.
Yeah, it just goes, it builds on itself because you have enough supers to do exactly what you need to do in there. So if you ever find yourself not getting the super drops you need, then it's very easy to just lose oodles of time. And now he's going to be collecting more supers. Well, hoping to collect more supers. Because unfortunately, we can't skip through any of the lava. Oof, nice speedball. I definitely looked into skipping the lava a few times, but there's actually just hard blocks there. So, no can do. Nice stutter. So stuttering is a mechanic in this game too, much like Super Metroid. It just works a little bit differently. Rather than stuttering at certain points throughout the run-up, you stutter kind of towards the end, and you can short charge. For a human, you can usually get down. You can usually get, I think, 2, maybe 3 stutters in, but with a task, you can get absolutely absurd numbers of them and charge in significantly shorter.
Here we have one of the few input breaks of this run. Unlike something like Super Metroid, you can skip item fanfares, which unfortunately takes away those input breaks.
Yep. So fun fact about this game is real time, it's fairly comparable to other Metroid games for 100%, but game time, it is the longest. Actually, I think Fusion might be longer now, but it's not by much. It's like a single minute of game time, so there's very, very little downtime in this run.
We're gonna have a few more spark charge.
Oh boy.
Commentator curse.
Yeah. And he's going for spark here. I think he goes for the space jump. Oh, that was interesting. Bit of a bummer there. So he's going to be trying to keep the charge while killing this Metroid, and he does get it. Very nice. Space boost back. Yeah. That space boost is non-trivial because passing through those enemies really messes up the timer.
Yeah, you can't space jump when you're in them, and it slows you down quite a bit.
Yeah. And he's going to be looking for more super drops here because he needs full supers going into Area 4. But you want to try and skip recharging, but this count is a little low, so it looks like you may have to.
And another thing about speed boosting is it's still faster to be in Morph Ball, but that depends on how long.
Very nice stutter.
So if you have the time to speedball, definitely do that.
Mm-hmm. Going
for the drive-by, didn't quite get it. You can kill that guy without having to just sit there in front of him.
Yeah, he's only got 2 supers right now, so he's going to have to take a refill here. Ordinarily, you would really want to skip it. If you have 6 or 7 supers, you're usually good to skip it, but 2 just can't quite make it happen with 2. And it's also not a bad idea to get a health refill because you just want to be tanking those hits, and that's 50 damage apiece. So we're just going to be grabbing this real quick. Nice diagonal. And I think we're just going to... Yeah, you can see how you can combo speedball. Oh, you missed the speedball there. That's a bummer. You can combo speedball, spring ball, space jump, pretty much everything. And you can just cover absurd amounts of distance. Let's see if he goes for the risky strat. Oh, he did, but he missed it. Oh, no. Oh, Druid. Yeah, now he's only got 4 supers for the Zeta. Oh, he's going to farm some. That's not a bad decision. So I guess spoilers, this is the first Zeta Metroid that we see in the run. Nice speedball, dude.
I'm not sure that saves time when you have to watch this cutscene, but yeah, it was pretty nice.
I mean, you only have to be going for 4 frames. And I think you went for more than 4 frames there.
For that one, you do have to go backwards, so...
Oh yeah, that's true, you have to stutter. So, there's a lot going on in this fight. So now that it's over, I can probably not explain it very well. But basically, Zeta Metroids have a couple different attacks and they're only vulnerable right in the little green spot on their chest. And once you deal enough damage to them, they start swiping away your supers, or your regular missiles too. So that's why you saw him kind of charge into it, to kind of get behind that barrier.
It's also possible to predict when he's gonna attack, because he attacks every 2 hits and off a timer out other than that.
Yep. Very nice fight. Picture perfect. I guess. And... oh yes, he does this slightly differently than I'm used to. He's sparking straight up here, and he's gonna kill these guys to get more supers, rather than taking the recharge. Now, this area was completely dark in M2. You can see a little bit here, but it's still kind of annoying to try and figure it out. Fortunately, Druid knows exactly where to go. And this is one of those rooms where Spring Ball helps considerably. Alright, so he's going to be grabbing a couple more super drops right there. Oh, too high. Bummer. He took a hit there. That's also really bad because now he doesn't get guaranteed super drops. And let's see if he can get a quick kill here. Yes, good. He was a little safe there with his supers, because supers are very, very important right now.
Oh, and gets 2 supers right off the bat. Nice luck there.
That's an interesting Shine Spark. I don't know if I've seen that one before.
I think he was just trying to get his health maxed.
That makes sense. Oop. Is that what he tries to do? Oof. Well, it worked out for him, so... man. Yeah, getting a little more health there. Or maybe a safety super. Sneaking right through that little opening there. Start the early shot on this Metroid. Oh, just mistimed that super. So now he's gonna have to get a few missiles in. There's one short. There we go. Yeah, I mean, this... again, I really don't think I can stress enough just how ridiculously good Druid is at this game. He is making this look so much easier than it actually is. So now we're going down into a brand new area. This area was not in original Metroid 2 in any form, really. So this is my favorite room, the Why Are These Not Bomb Chains room. But there's a reason for that. It's just the reason is really unfortunate in the speedrun. He gets the ball spark, and he gets one super drop. Whew. That's what he's looking for there. Let's see if he gets in the speed ball. Oh, he doesn't even go for it. Lame. That's probably the only strat he's not going for.
I don't think he's gonna go for the Omega Speedball. I haven't seen him go for that.
Oh, really? This is another like 3 breaks you have in this game. This elevator's really long and really slow. Druid. Oh, there he goes. Skipping the refill because he got the one super. And oh, he doesn't get the... I don't know if that's a single stutter or a double stutter to get that.
I think I've gotten it with a single stutter, but it's really tight.
Yeah, that's a very tight space boost. Normally you see people just storing a shine spark and sparking across the room, but the space boost is definitely faster. So, oh, you know what we never talked about? Canceling the bonk animation with Spider Ball. So, normally when you speed boost, or when you shine spark into like walls in Metroid games, you have a bit of a bonk animation. If you ball spark into something and then use Spider Ball, you can get right out of that animation, and I don't know exactly how much time it saves over the course of the run, but it's not insignificant. Another cool thing about elevators, you don't have to take them all the way up. You can just shine spark straight up. Not the first time we're going to see that. There's all sorts of cool speed boost shortcuts built into this area. So, fun fact about this escape JRP, it is like literally impossible to fail. The timer isn't actually a timer, it's scripted and advances based on how far into the sequence you've advanced.
Why would you give that away before it's done?
Because it was JRP asking about it. Oh, Druid gave it away anyway.
Man, you're spoiling my fun.
I apologize to everyone whose tension got ruined. Okay, so... Oh no, he's at 5 health. How will he ever survive? So technically there is a route where you save this for cleanup and just go with the 5 health, but it's incredibly risky and saves such a minuscule amount of time. Shooting the blast radius through the wall there, get the missile tank early. And he gets the speed ball. Very nice. Blowing up bomb chains. So the reason we didn't use the power bomb in the room with a bunch of bomb blocks in it is right here. Way back, we actually used to use that power bomb, but then we'd have to go up and refill, then back down to that. So it actually winds up saving like 15 seconds to not use the power bomb in that room.
Also, power bombs in this game have a huge radius. So.
Yeah, power bombs are ridiculously overpowered. And it's part of the reason why you will never see a power bomb drop. The only way to get more power bombs is by refilling at a save station. So power bomb management is hugely important in this route. There's a lot of spots where you would think we'd be using a power bomb, but we won't because... So we're just kind of... But that's a good use of a power bomb. So small note here, Druid is playing on a fan-made patch 1.1.2, and it fixes a visual glitch with Gravity Suit and the annoying sound effect you get if you kill the tester during his initial spinning attack. It used to be, on the official version, well, official in quotation marks, it used to be that if you killed him during that initial attack, you'd have to deal with the sound that attack makes all the way until Gravity Suit, so that'd be running in the background for about 10 minutes. It was very, very annoying. So now we're going to make use of a very well-hidden shortcut. It's so hidden you can't even see the blocks. So now we're going into Area 5. Area 5 is a really cool area. It's completely original to this game. So this is an all-original area, entirely done up by Dr. M64. Nice. So this is a prime spot for the zip glitch we saw earlier, but unfortunately it doesn't work going left to right in that room. Nice speedball.
Yeah, something about the zip glitches that can potentially crash the game, but it's consistent where it crashes and where it doesn't, depending on what rooms you've been in.
He's not taking that save. Very interesting.
He has plenty of supers, so I don't blame.
Well, I figured he'd be looking for power bombs. Maybe that's just an old strat. Nice. Okay, so we were talking earlier about how there's not much RNG. What you see floating up in the background are one of the major sources of RNG. It's kind of silly, honestly, that these are as random as they are, but for these first couple that are really straightforward, it doesn't matter too much. But this one, it kind of does matter, because this one, you want it to go down this one tile wide hole. It can either go directly down like that was really good, or it can bounce around and take its sweet old time falling down the hole. Really clean fight. Oh no! Just missed. Ooh. Still really good. Still really good. So Area 5 is kind of scary just because everything deals a ton of damage. The saws deal 60 damage apiece. We have a lot of health, so it's not a huge issue, but it's very easy for things to get out of control.
One thing to note is those robo-mines that explode into a bunch of orbs. If you get hit by all of them at the same frame, you only take damage from one.
Ah, yes, and they also don't give you iframes if you get hit by one, so it's very, very easy to get chain damaged by them. You'll see him make use of that right there. That he only took the damage from one. That's some bad luck on that ball. Like you can very, very easily lose a bunch of time to those EMP balls. But there's a few spots where if you get caught in a sequence of explosions from those guys, does he get it? Oh, he doesn't quite get it. That's a bummer.
There's also a quick falls for the crumble blocks in this game, but it requires you to be in speed booster, so there's very few spaces you can use it. This is one of them, but he didn't go for it there.
Yeah, it's honestly even questionable how much time it saves, I think. So now he's going to be going into the... Nope, I guess he's going down here. He's going to be fighting the Alpha Squad. Just 5 Alpha Metroids just swarming you all at once. But since this is 100%, we can just kind of shoot ammo at them until they die. That was alright. Not really much to complain about there.
Unfortunately, he wants... Okay, he's got a super. He wants... Wait, never mind. He doesn't need a super, he needs screw attack.
Yes.
I haven't played 100% in a while, so I get confused sometimes.
Yeah, my 100% knowledge is not as up to date as Druid's, that's for sure. So let's give it... Ah, very nice. It's one of the really cool speed boost tricks, I think, right here. Oh, we just missed it. Bummer, dude. These speed booster tricks are, some of them are very, very difficult, so Druid makes it look easy, but it really is not.
Well, he doesn't make it look easy, he makes it look easier than it is, so...
Yeah, for sure. Like, he usually streams with a keyboard input viewer, and just, it looks like a disco ball. So recently Druid found out that reversing the order of areas in cleanup actually saves, I forget how much time, but it's pretty significant. We used to go area 3 or area 1, secret hidden area, area 3, but now we're going area 3, secret hidden area, area 1. You might notice there's no area 2. Area 2 is done much later. Unfortunately, we missed out on one of the coolest strats in the game, where you do a space boost all the way back across this area. It's fairly difficult, but that's such is life. At least we get plenty of cool strats in return, so it's not... Oh, that's a bit of a bad pattern on that ball. Not terrible, but... Oh, and he missed the speed ball. That's a bummer. And taking a bit of a shortcut here, what we saw earlier. And now we're going back over to where we fought a couple of alphas. But we're going to be going in a slightly different direction here. Again, elevators are slow. We're not taking them.
This elevator's actually pretty fast. It's only like 2 seconds faster to shine spark up this very long shaft than to take the elevator.
Yeah. That elevator is fortunately a quick one. It's not like that other one down in a power plant.
There's elevators that aren't so fast.
Yeah, these small little ones here, you really don't want to take those. Those ones are slow and dumb. Okay, so getting out of here. Oh, wait. Another mini-boss. This mini-boss is dumb. His iframes work interestingly. Druid did not have any problems with it, but if you shoot too quickly, your ammo will actually just pass straight through him. And it can be very, very annoying to deal with. So now we're just going to pick up one item, and then making use of a well-placed ramp here. Just casually shine spark way across the ship. I don't know if this is the longest shine spark in the game, but
oh, definitely.
I think it is. I think it is. Never mind. I don't think there's any doubt that that's the longest. And nice speedballing right back to the elevator. See, this elevator is fast. It's just not as fast as a shine spark. Alright. So, cleanup is actually kind of split into two parts, and we're almost done with part one here. We just have to go back up to area 1 and pick up a few items hidden in the tunnel. Ah, missed that speedball. That's a bummer. Just space jumping up there. Nothing particularly interesting in this room. A bit more of a challenge to get if you don't have space jump. And making use of a very specific glitch there. If you shine spark up directly next to a slope, you can actually store the spark on that slope. It's useful in a few specific spots. So, lightning. So, most of these assets are actually original. They're not. Earlier in development, there were a lot of ripped Zero Mission assets, but most of them now are originals. Yeah, elevator speed is hard-coded just because... Oh, he missed the stutter. That's a bummer. Just because you have that giant power plant elevator that's really long and really slow. So by using the shot cancel and space jump, you can actually get up high enough to get over this structure, which you wouldn't be able to do normally.
Well, you can get over it, you just can't get all the way up to that missile.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm just bad at space jumping. So Druid has a sort of consistent setup for this, as consistent as it gets, because these are not consistent. Like
And
you
you do not want it to go out the door because it'll just be gone and respawn back at the top.
Yep. Having it go out the door is really bad.
Who likes Shine Spark puzzles? I do.
I mean, I run 0 missions, so yes. So now, he saved this room for cleanup because it's obviously faster.
Faster because of the power bombs and the aforementioned the boss that had its health based on missile count.
It's not like a gigantic time save, but it's enough of a time save that it's what we do nowadays. Yeah, the thing about Morph Ball positioning is that in normal Morph Ball, you don't really move very precisely. You have to use Spider Ball a lot of the time for that. So, nice spark there. The very first mini boss is the one who has health that scales based on the number of missile tanks you've picked up. So, picking up fewer missile tanks means that the boss has less health, so you kill it quicker. So now we are going to see a familiar item here, just in a somewhat unconventional way. So, fun fact about suits, suits don't stack in this game. So even though he doesn't have Varia, oh, he missed the zip there. That's a bummer. He still has all the benefits that he would have at this point if he did have Varia. So it's sort of similar to SM, but not. I think he's gonna go for this. Nah, he didn't get it. That's a very, very hard short charge. Diagonal spark right there. Diagonal sparks aren't super useful because the angle is so shallow, but there's a few spots where you see them pulled off. Another EMP ball puzzle using a power bomb and a well-placed bomb to make that thing fly across the room. Alright, so now we're going to be going down into the real depths of Area 5. There's a fair bunch of items to pick up down there, another old friend from another Metroid game. And a few pretty cool pieces of tech. So first thing to note, he wants as many super missiles as possible here. And 14, I think, is, if it's not full, it's very close to full. Oh, we missed storing that Shine Spark. That's a bit of a shame. And oof. Missed one super, but that was incredibly clean. Alright, so now we're going to be picking up Ice Beam here. It's much later than you would get it in Metroid 2, but the main reason for that is that Ice Beam is ridiculously overpowered. Kind of missed the little transporter there. That's a little annoying. You'll see it on enemies, but okay, so right now, Ceres works very differently from Fusion. Basically, you have to freeze his outsides and then shoot them off, and then you can deal damage to him. A lot of people think to use a power bomb here, but a power bomb is actually really slow because it gives him a huge number of iframes. So you see Druid kind of moving around the platforms. That actually manipulates the pattern a little bit. So he got more favorable patterns there and was able to kill Ceres very quickly. So now we're just doing a little bit of item collecting here. A few more missile tanks, a few more super missile tanks. We're getting fairly close to 100% here. So actually, another fun thing about 100%, there aren't actually 100 items in this game. There's, I believe, only 88.
That is correct.
So low percent is 6%, and it picks up 5 items.
And of those 88, there's 44 missile packs.
Yep. So let's see if he goes for the really hard strat in this room. I hope he does. It's a really, really sick strat. And okay, he doesn't go for the really hard strat. He goes for the reasonable backup strat. Still very fast strat. Okay, so now we're completely done with Area 5. There are only a few places left to go clean up, but we're still not going to be doing those. We're coming up to a little bit of an interlude. I believe you see it in Metroid 2 speedruns. You have the got the hiccups here.
Alpha and
that's a very nice sequence of shine sparks.
I don't think I've seen that.
Let's see if he goes for the fancy strat here. Oh, of course he does. So this whole area is basically, you keep a shine spark for a very long time. You shine spark, space boost, speedball everywhere. This is, I think, one of the few areas where the speed boost tricks are actually not as hard as they look. They're definitely not trivial, but they're not as hard as they look. Got stuck in the morph ball there, it looks like. A little bit. Jumped a little too high. And so the trigger for the next Metroid is the log entry. It's not the earthquake. They're two separate triggers. So nice speedballs right into the Omega fight. What a madman. Omegas are the apex predators of SR388. They are very, very challenging and very...
Very dead.
Yeah. They're similar to Metroid 2. Back weak spot deals 3x damage, but super missiles are a thing, so the fights are almost completely trivialized. He got very good patterns there, also, but Omega Metroids are... Ooh, I think he's a little too high. Nope, not quite.
They do have an attack where their back doesn't open, so we want to avoid that.
Yep. I mean, you can't really avoid it. It's RNG. You either get the good luck or you don't.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
I love seeing my strats in a run.
Yeah, there's just so many speed booster strats you can do in this game. There's so many strats that you can do that we don't see in the run because either the route isn't right, or they're too hard to do consistently, or there's just a better alternative. It's just there's so many possible speed booster strats. Okay, so now we're in the Omega Nest. Side note, this is the best music track in the game. It's not the same as Metroid 2's Omega Nest, but I really like it. So, Omega Nest, it sounds like it should be really foreboding, really dangerous, but we've seen what Omega fights look like.
And a speedrun. It's definitely not
he got the bad
casually.
You can squeeze 3 missiles into the front there, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. And he's keeping his Shine Spark here because he's going to be sparking across right here. Straight into the Metroid. Unfortunately, it doesn't damage him, and he got the bad pattern again. That's a bummer.
Luckily,
okay. Let's see.
Omegas are almost always forced to jump after that fire breathing. Sometimes they can do a fire breath pattern again, but I'm not sure what controls that.
I was really hoping he would get that speedball, but that speedball's very, very difficult. I think I'll probably go for the speedball out of here.
The speedball out of here is very easy to get, but it's hard to continue through the chamber.
He's been getting some really unfortunate luck with these Omegas. A lot of fire breathing patterns, which they're slow because they don't. Very difficult if you're not Druid.
Exactly.
Fire breathing patterns are slow just because they don't expose the back weak spot. Alright, so now we're on our way to the final area of the game. And we're also coming up to one of the oldest tricks in this run, the Waterfalls Space Boost.
Oh, and using Axel strat, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is not easy at all. It's very, very easy to mess this up, and messing it up loses a ton of time because there's only 2 spots in this whole chain where you can get a Shine Spark back.
And all you have to do to mess it up is jump too high and hit the ceiling, get a corner.
Yep.
And your speed boost is completely gone.
Mm-hmm. So, unlike Metroid 2, we can just Shine Spark up this, fortunately. Here's the final save. We don't need it. Okay, so now we're going to go back and finish cleanup. We're going to be going back to Area 2. And now we're going to be getting Varia. There's actually... No, I guess he's going down here first. There's actually a missile tank we're missing in Area 4. It's right here. The top here is blocked off by screw attack blocks, which is why he didn't get it earlier. Let's see. I bet he goes for this speedball.
He will.
I really hope he gets it. Oh, nah.
Oh,
that's
another
such
one.
A hard speedball.
That's another one of my strats, and I never do it.
Yeah,
so.
It's really, really hard. And he's going to be skipping that. Looks like he had to decide for a minute there, but... Alright. So now we're getting Varia. This is actually kind of important. But now he has only Varia on. It unequips Gravity. But he's not going to put Gravity back on just yet, because there is a water jet puzzle coming up right here, and you move much faster through this with Varia on. So now he's going to put gravity back on.
Right before he gets grabbed by the jet again.
Yep. So now now he has to go all the way back out to the breeding grounds. There's another EMP ball puzzle. One last one. This one is one of the more infamous ones. The position the ball needs to be in is fairly precise. Yeah, you can see he just got bad RNG basically. It really, it is RNG, more or less, because apparently the impulse function in Game Maker doesn't work consistently.
Yeah, if you look at the code, it doesn't look like RNG, but just by the way the engine works, it is.
Mm-hmm. Very nice space boost and speedball combo there. Alright, so now we're going to pick up the final item. The nice thing about doing cleanup the way we do it is you actually finish cleanup with full ammo. So you'll know if you missed anything. So he's got 250, 20, and 20.
Yep, and that's another nice thing about the refills from the expansions. You can always tell if you have 100% or not.
Yep. So confirmed, Druid has 100%. I obviously did not expect him to get anything less. And now we're coming up on what used to be Ice Beam in M2, but Beam's actually stacked in this game, so it's just a ruined statue. It looks kind of neat.
There's definitely been runs where 100% hasn't been completed because of a stray missed missile.
Yep. So now we're in the genetics lab. And we're doing the Larva Metroids. And one thing you actually won't get to see much because Druid kills them so quickly is freezing them actually makes them fall out of the sky. They don't stay frozen in place. Oh, he missed a super. That's a bit of a bummer.
Also, if they thaw and you freeze them right again, they can glitch out and just glitch through walls and you're stuck because both doors are locked.
Doing a bit of skeet shooting with that Metroid there. Alright, he's going for Queen Spark here. Double stutter, it's really tight, he missed it. That's a shame, I really wanted to see that spark. Basically, you spark across this room here instead of rolling. It saves a good amount of time, it's very difficult to get. Okay, so this is the Queen fight. I actually might take it back, the Queen fight might be the best track in the game. It's hard to choose, there's so many good ones. Also, you saw there, Queen's neck doesn't actually have a hitbox. I think he was going for the one cycle, but he missed it there. Probably because he whiffed a super earlier. Yeah, he was very close.
So, another thing, the Queen's maximum health also depends on your missiles.
Yep.
But not your super missiles.
It doesn't make a difference for 100% because you got to get everything anyway, but in any percent, a big part of it is keeping your maximum ammo count down. You can't just go picking up missile tanks willy-nilly in any percent, or you're going to wind up losing a lot of time at Queen. So I think you should be good to get a one cycle here, yep. The optimal number of cycles for the Queen is 1 in the first 3 rounds, and then this 4th round, you have to take 2 cycles.
Druid's done it 1 all across, I'm pretty sure.
Of course he
I don't
has.
know how he does it.
Of course. Like, why else? Or who else would even think of that? There's a bit of RNG on the drops here. If you get reasonably good drops, you can easily get a 2 round here.
Which kill do you think he's gonna go for?
The fast one. Yeah.
Darn.
I mean, why else? Why else? Like, it's Druid. If you use a power bomb to blow up the Queen's belly, you get a cool animation, but it's slow, so we don't do it.
And in 90% we don't get power bombs, so you won't see it there.
Yep. You can actually get it. Oh, baby Spark. Oh, he missed the speedball. That's a shame. I think you can actually get the powerbomb kill animation with the powerbomb outside of the queen if you kill her on the same frame it goes off. I think. I'm not actually 100% sure about that, but I think I remember hearing it at one point.
So there's a little bit of manipulation you can do to get this Metroid to eat the right crystals.
Yep. I haven't even been paying attention to the timer, but this is an absolutely ridiculous pace. Oh, he's going for... Ah, he didn't quite get the shine charge there. He got the speed booster, but didn't quite store the spark. That's another really, really tight spark.
Yeah, it didn't hold down long enough. With the speed boost, you can charge a spark, or start charging a spark before you get the speed boost, but you have to be still charging it when you would normally get the speed boost.
So we're going
sometimes
for
that's
classic
not
ship spark,
included.
and we're finishing 1:14.12.
What a beautiful run.
That was an absolutely ridiculous time. Whew. What a run. Absolutely what a run. That's, I think, until like 2 or 3 days ago that his PB was about here. So that's a crazy good run to get in a marathon. That was such a great run. I'm very happy we got to see that today. Now we get the credits, the traditional cool music in this game. So that was another Metroid 2 Remake 100%. I hope you guys all really enjoyed that. That was, oh man, I'm so happy with how well that went. Such a good run. We have an AM2R speedrun Discord. Feel free to drop by if you want to chat with anyone who runs the game, learn to run it yourself, or just want to talk about it. Bunch of friendly, welcoming people in there. So I think with that, we'll wait for the credits to roll. We also get the credits for the original Metroid 2 in here. Fun fact. And I think we'll be handing it off next. Let me pull up the schedule real quick. What is up next? Metroid Fusion, any percent no memory corruption by the legendary Mickey Now. Should be a good run too. 104. What a beast, man. What an absolute beast. Alright, so I think at this point we're going to be handing it off to Mickey and his commentary team.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.